Well, good afternoon and welcome back to the Little French Homestead. My name is Sherry. If you are new today, welcome. Well, my husband has some very important friends coming over tonight. They are actually flying in from the Bahamas. They should be arriving in a few hours here. They've already arrived at the Orlando International Airport. They are going to be driving up with another friend. Now, all three of these gentlemen, they all lived in the Bahamas together. They grew up from infants all the way up. And now two of them, my husband and another friend, live here in Florida. So they are all coming up to our house and they're just gonna stay overnight. They do have a hotel a little further down in our town, a little further down, but they're gonna come over here where they're gonna have a wonderful meal. We're gonna meet their son, who is now a couple of years older than the last time, and then their daughter, who we haven't met yet. So I am preparing a wonderful meal tonight. We are going to be having a strawberry jello Cool Whip pie, and we are also then gonna go ahead and do, I'm gonna make my famous homemade mac and cheese that my kids love. I'm gonna do a salad, green bean casserole, and then I have this wonderful chicken menu planned out. It's called, I'm gonna try to think of it, Maple Dijon chicken breast, encrusted chicken breast, and we're gonna have that. A couple of them have some certain allergies, so I had to be very picky on what we could do for this evening. So since this has to cool, let's go ahead and get going on this. I had my lovely daughters go ahead and put a little bit of makeup and some hair done for me, so I feel very pretty. So we are only needing about 2/3 of this water. Now we just got the regular standard jello mix. I got a bowl out because I wasn't sure if I was going to just do it in that or the bowl. I'm just following the recipe, usually on the back of this, but I've got the ingredients here in front of me. I will link all of the recipes that I have down below. And now you just want to make sure you give this a great little mix. I think my husband's doing some outside yard work. So that was a 3-ounce jello into 2/3 cup of boiling hot water. They said once, keep stirring for about 2 minutes or it completely dissolves. Then you're going to add 1 cup of ice cold water, and I do have a couple of ice cubes in there just to really help make it sure to go down. And then it says stir slightly until it starts to thicken. Now I do have some jello, some Cool Whip. I got a big thing because when I was at the store I was looking at it and I wasn't sure if it was a big container or a small one. So I went with the big container. Might as well go a little bit bigger just to make sure everything's there. All right, and then whisk in the Cool Whip and then refrigerate. So let me go ahead and get out the Cool Whip. All right. Oh, well, I did get the right size. Oh, good. This is a 16-ounce, and it asks for a 16-ounce. All right. So I'm just going to go ahead and get my handy dandy scissors. I have no nails. I don't know how, but over the last week or two, a couple of my nails have just been falling off. Well, they get caught on something. They get snagged. That's the word I was thinking of. All right, perfect. And I'm gonna go ahead and stick it in there. I keep reading it because it's just really weird on that. That's okay. I'm hoping this bowl was big enough. Now I just did, it calls for a graham cracker crust. If you want to go ahead and make your own, go right ahead. I figured with enough things that I am doing today, the last thing I want to be doing was going to be doing more baking, cooking, or making anything together. All right. Yeah, that'll help. I hope I'm making this right. I'm gonna go ahead and finish mixing together like this. I'm gonna pour it in the crust. When you go ahead and pour it in this crust, what you're gonna go ahead and do is set it in the refrigerator 4 hours or overnight. I am gonna go ahead and stick mine in the freezer just because I wanna really make sure that this is thoroughly cold, because you do wanna serve it chilled before they get here. Whee! Now everybody in my house loves strawberry. That taste is really good. Yeah, I think I should have got a bigger bowl. All right, so now we upgraded to the Big Daddy. I may as well have done that. I was not thinking for sure. Now we're just gonna go ahead and scoop all of this in here. You wanna make sure that this was well blended and well incorporated. Like we are just a tad over again here. That's all right. We can go ahead and taste test that. Perfect. Okay, I'm gonna go stick this in the freezer. I'm gonna probably stick it on a cookie sheet with aluminum foil underneath, just in case no messes come up. And then we are going to be turning to the homemade macaroni and cheese and the green bean casserole. And I'm going to also get together the chicken ready. All right, so now we're back. We are going to be making the green bean casserole. I am just using all of the store-bought ingredients. I know I just did a video not too long ago about cream of anything soup, the dry mix. Again, I am just right now going for a little bit of convenience. This one here is cream of chicken with herbs, so it's already going to give that little bit of added flavor to it. Now you want to make sure you strain out the green beans. I like using the French style green beans, but I mean, obviously if you have your own homemade green beans, or like grown, please go ahead and use those. You will want to go ahead and give those a quick blanch before you use any real fresh green beans. That's going to help break the fibrous down. a little bit and give them a softer texture, kind of what you want. Still with a little bit of a crisp, but that way it's not too soft or too crunchy. I like crunchy green beans to a certain point. All right, I am just gonna go ahead and just give this a quick little mix. My pasta noodles are all ready, so I will go ahead and bring you for that. Now they aren't arriving here at our house until about between like 6 and 7. They want to go check in their hotel room real quick, and then they're gonna swing over here. So, I mean, you guys all know, if I've said it enough times, we normally go ahead and eat between like 4 and 5 because my husband has to go to work. Today is Sunday, but he does not have to actually go to work today. He called out so he can enjoy his friends and have a night. Now, I've never used soy sauce in my green bean casserole, but I am going to this time. I don't know, maybe I'll ask my mom. She made green bean casserole when I was growing up, and she made it a lot, but she made it a lot with with cream of mushroom soup. I don't like mushrooms. And when she used to do that, I used to sit there at like 6, 7, 8 years old, and I would literally pick out all the mushrooms. Now she makes it with cream of chicken. All right, so we have one side already. I'm gonna go ahead and just plop this in the refrigerator. And when we get ready to eat, because right now it's 4:30, I'm just trying to get everything all set and done. That way I can just throw everything in the oven when it's time for them. And I'll be right back. So you see here that I am making my mac and cheese. Now, a few months ago, I had made this recipe right here. And I will link the video down below as well as the recipe. But it's very simple. It's a Chef Michael's homemade mac and cheese, and it is extremely delicious. You're going to go ahead and do your noodles to the box on the back, and then you're going to make your roux, essentially. So your roux is the same parts butter and flour. And when you mix that all together, you're going to add your milk in there, and you want to do it slowly because you don't want to cool everything all down too fast. Then you add all of your spices. So, like I said, I'll link the recipe, but you got salt, pepper, there's some mustard in there, some Worcestershire sauce, a pinch of nutmeg, and some thyme. You're going to whisk that all together, and you're going to allow that to come to a boil. That can take a good 8 to 10 minutes to do that. And you do want to go ahead and continue whisking pretty occasionally while you're doing this, because you don't want any of that milk to stick down to the bottom. When I go ahead and brought that temperature up, and now you're seeing the thickening because of the flour and the milk and that butter when you've made that roux, you're going to now go ahead and add your cheese. I am adding shredded cheddar cheese, some mozzarella cheese, and then I went to go grab, because I forgot to go grab it out when I was making this, the pre-shredded Parmesan cheese that I had. Once you go ahead and mix that all together, you do want to go ahead, turn your stove off. You do want to keep cooking and allowing all of that milk that's heated, the liquid, to melt all of that cheese so it gets to that nice ooey gooey stage. And what I like to do is go ahead and then, like I said, remove it from the heat. And I'm going to go ahead and then dump all of that noodles into my pan, my pot, because every time that I've tried doing it the opposite way, I can never get in there to thoroughly dig, and your pot is already dirty because you've got your cheese sauce in it. So I would rather go ahead and do it like I'm doing here. Get that in there, get all that sauce, mix it all thoroughly well with all of those noodles. Now I am using, and I know I'm going to butcher the name, but I think it's called like Calvarelli or something. It's like an elbow noodle, but it's got more twists and turns. I find that really allows the sauce to have more surfaces to stick to. Once you go ahead and get that all mixed in, I pour it back in my oven safe serving bowl. Then you're going to go ahead and you're going to add your crumble that's on top, which is about a half a stick of butter, what I usually use, and usually about a cup of breadcrumbs. You can use Ritz crackers. You can use Panko breadcrumbs. I just have regular breadcrumbs right then and there. You can add some dried parsley into that if you wish to. My breadcrumbs are already like an Italian mix, so it's already got that all in there. You're going to go ahead and give that a nice coat on top of your mac and cheese. I did add a little bit more Parmesan. And then when you go to bake that in the oven, you want to bake it for about 15-20 minutes at 375 to 400 until that top gets nice and brown. Just be careful on it because you don't want to get it burnt. And then I go ahead and serve with the rest of my meal. We absolutely enjoyed this meal. I do have pictures at the very, very end, and you are going to be simply shocked at how fast and really simple this meal is. All right, so now we're here. We are getting ready to do our chicken breasts. We are now going to add our ingredients. So we're going to add the wet, and then we're going to do the dry. I will link this recipe down below, but you're going to need about 4 tablespoons of some apple cider vinegar. Now, I also too am making a lot here. The normal recipe will only call for like 2, but I got 12 here, and I even doubled it to 8. Now we're going to use about a half a cup so of some real maple syrup. So I got some of the organic maple syrup that I normally get from Sam's Club, and then a nice Dijon mustard. Let me go a little bit more on that, just 2/3 a cup. I'm been using this one here. It's called Mike's Amazing Mustard. It's spiced. I actually really like it. They have it at Publix for $1.99 for that. So I am quite impressed by that particular, and it tastes wonderful. I don't sponsor them or anything like that, but they're really very good. So you're just going to give this a nice little mix here, and then just set that aside. Now I got just a little over 2 cups of Panko bread crumbs in this. We are going to add some salt, some pepper. We have a wild stray kitty outside, and my kids just went outside to go feed it. It's all gray, so we're calling it Cupcake because we have a stuffed kitty that is all gray. That is one of my daughters. So that's what we're doing. All right, and I'm going to go ahead with a fork, mix this thoroughly. So I added salt, pepper, some garlic powder, and some paprika. Now that's all what this recipe calls for. You can certainly add whatever else you want. but I am following the recipe. I like to usually follow the recipe at least the first time around, and then after that I will go ahead and then mix and match to what I like to do. So what we're going to do here is we're going to go ahead and take one chicken breast. You want to thoroughly dredge it in here. And then we're going to go ahead and put it in there. Now what I'm just going to do temporarily is take the rest of my chicken breast and add it all to this sauce. Because then I want to add the ones that do not have any type of dressing or anything like that to this. Now you should go ahead and spray this down, but because my chicken breasts were already on that, it is also too, I don't want to say like slimy, but you know how chicken breasts can be. So I am just pushing all the breadcrumbs right into the chicken breasts. Make sure you evenly coat both sides and then go ahead and throw that down. So I'm just going to go ahead and continue with all of these. And then once I am done, I will go ahead and bring you back. All right, so we got everything now all done. This is the chicken after it came out. All right, I got 12 pieces on there. We've got our homemade mac and cheese. I've got my crumble on top and then a little bit of extra parm. And I've got the green bean casserole. Everything is going in now the oven. They are going to be coming here in just a little while. I just want to make sure that dinner is going to be ready when they get here. This is still very hot, so it's not going to be able to stay out cooked too much longer, just enough to melt the cheese. And then we will bring you back once everything is all out of the oven. Everybody enjoyed this meal. This was absolutely phenomenal. Very, very delicious. Would seriously make this all again. So I just want to say thank you so much for coming into my home, and like, share, but most importantly, go ahead and subscribe and keep on cooking. Bye.